What's going on, everyone? It's Marsellis back with another video. We're going to be talking about Baby Doge. We're going to be going over the technical analysis here for that and also Bitcoin. And we're also going to be going over some other stuff on Baby Doge, such as the progress that we have with our DeFi app as well as the Twitter. So we're going to be going over a lot today. Definitely hit the like button and subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Leave a comment in the comment section. Definitely check out my other channel, link in the description, Marsellis Travels. Also, if you want to check out my album pre-save, the album link inside of the description comes out January 1st. Let's go straight over Baby Doge though. So let's talk about this. So yesterday we talked about, Baby Doge and how it was pumping. So now you can actually see we started to pump even more. Now we're at 1727. That's 8Z1727, 8 zeros 1727, right? And then right above this, you can see we actually reached 1800, but we got rejected at that 1800 resistance. Now, this is if we're looking at it from the Huobi exchange. That's what we're looking at this on TradingView on the Huobi exchange. But if we just look at it from, OKX, it's going to show something different. It's going to show that we're at 1398, pretty much getting rejected at 1400, right? And then if we look over here, this shows that we're at 1442, up 8.3% in the last 24 hours. Hit the refresh button, still 8.3%. So I'll let you decide whichever one is more accurate to you, because I don't know what exchange you're buying it on, whether you're buying it on exchange A or B, wherever you're buying it, is going to show a different price. Every single exchange is going to show a different price. So I can't do a technical analysis for all the different exchanges. But the two main ones that you want to look at is the OKX one here on TradingView, and you also want to look at the Huobi here on TradingView, even if you don't hold it on either one of these exchanges. I don't hold it on either one of these exchanges, but the price for me that's closer is whatever one, I guess. It doesn't even matter to me. What I'm just looking at is the increase in the price, and eventually the OKX one will catch up to the Huobi one. Because remember, Huobi, yesterday when we looked at the exchange, it was at the price that OKX is at right now. So I think OKX is just behind a little bit. So that's why I want to look at this one for today. So now that we got that out of the way, right, shows that we are inside of the middle of a downtrend now. We just now had that downtrend, but we did hit the support down here that we have at 1670, or really 1675, somewhere around there. It hit that support that we had there, and it did not go below it. And it also says, we're bullish in the last 24 hours. The bullish is by 100%, pretty much 24-hour market control for the bull market. And also you can see over here on the oscillator, all that buying volume on the upside here. So that's all good news there. But let's talk about what would happen if Baby Doge continued to pull back. Well, if it continues to pull back, then we're really looking at the support way down here that we were at before, which is going to be around 1450. So we really want to look at the 1450 to the 1400 area as our support if we were to go and pull back, similar to where it is right now on the OKX exchange and where it is right now on CoinGecko. Eventually, all this stuff will catch up. But for right now, what we're looking at is these two support levels. So that's what we're looking at, 1400, 1450 for our supports, right? Now, let's kind of, scroll out a little bit here and go to the 4-hour chart for the Huobi exchange. If you look at that, these green candlesticks are huge. These are huge purchasing areas. So I think Baby Doge actually has more room to continue to go up. A lot of people might not think that, but I do believe it has more room to go up. Now, we could be pulling back down to 1450, right, where we were before with our support, possibly even back down to 1200, 1300, anywhere between those areas. It's always a possibility. If you want to scroll all the way back here and look at where we pumped previously here with the Huobi exchange, you could actually see we already pumped all the way up here back inside of August, and we already pumped to the 1800 area back then. But if you also look over here and you scroll back, if you want to scroll all the way back to August, you can see it was the same thing over here for OKX. So this pretty much confirms that OKX is just a little bit behind, because if you look over here, we did go all the way up to the 1900 around here inside of August, right? And then we also did, that was around August 9th. And then again, we went back up around August 14th. And if you look back here, what do you see? August 9th. And that was actually at the beginning of August 9th, whereas the OKX one is towards the end of August 9th. And then you look over here, the same thing, 14th, 15th, 16th, same levels. So it kind of confirms that OKX is just a little bit behind, which is not a big deal. It really isn't a big deal at all. But I just wanted to get that out of the way. But let's keep going over this for the 15 or for the 4-hour chart now on the Huobi exchange. So as you can see here, we are still in the green. All this red area here is pretty much supply and demand of less demand. But now that we're seeing that it's turning green and showing that there is more demand flowing into Baby Doge here for the OK or for the Huobi exchange. All right. So right now we don't really know exactly where we're going, but we do know where our supports are, which is 1450. And then down here around 1300, we have 2 support levels back there. So that's what we know. But whereas resistance, we kind of just got all the way up here. So you really can't tell exactly where our resistance is going to be, but you can look at where it was previously and kind of tell from there. And if you want to look at that previously, we have resistance at 1800, which obviously we just now got rejected at 1800. And then we have more at 1860. And then we have more up here at 20, which is 8Z20. So that's what we're looking at. So to kind of wrap that part up, you got to look at 1800 where we just got rejected at, and then you got to look at the 20 area, 8Z20. So that's what we're looking at right now for Baby Doge. Now, if we're just going to look at the OKX exchange, eventually it will catch up. It's just a little bit behind. So I guess if you have it on that exchange or an exchange that's similar in price, then what you're looking at is the 1600, and we already know it's going to pass that because we already know what the other exchange is doing, that it's actually above it. The Huobi exchange is actually ahead of it. That's what it seems like. So eventually, you know, the resistance all the way up here. Same thing with the Huobi. So that's pretty much what we're looking at there. Now, as for Bitcoin, what we're looking at here for Bitcoin, high activity is expected in this area. And obviously we started to have selling. So kind of indicates it's probably going to be high selling activity, as you can see here. We also see if we scroll all the way back here, it kind of looks the same, you know, with this resistance. So this is pretty much telling us that we have a lot of selling around 21.3K Bitcoin. Right now we're at 21.2K Bitcoin, coming off of this overbought area down into some more selling. So now that we're seeing more selling coming into Bitcoin, we're really looking at this next support at 21K flat. Right now we're at 21.2K. And then we're looking eventually down here at about 20.6K for Bitcoin. So we're looking at a pullback here. Now it could obviously continue to rise from here, but what we're seeing right now is a rejection at this resistance. It's not wanting to stay above there at all. So the fact that it's not staying above there just shows us that, you know, it's gonna pull back, and then we got to build more momentum to continue to rise from here. So that's pretty much what we're looking at there. Now for the 4-hour chart here with Bitcoin, looks a little bit different. You can also see it's coming off of an overbought area as well, but watch how that overbought area is now curving downwards, indicating that selling is coming in. So you got to pay attention to that. And like I said, we have this support down here, 21K, all the way down to about 20.8K. And then we have another support area a little bit further below that. So we got to pay attention to both of those. Now, if we're looking at the area below it, we can also see that there is high activity expected in this area. So if we were to pull back down here in Bitcoin to 20.6K or even down to 20K flat, there's still a lot of support inside of this area. There's high activity expected for institutional investors, dark pools, large whales, all that good stuff. There's a lot of activity expected there. So you can probably expect buying to happen once we go all the way back down to this area here inside of Bitcoin. So that's pretty much what I'm expecting here for Bitcoin. But like I said, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor at all, but we gotta watch these things. And also, you know, I'm gonna keep saying this, 18.2K, still our support. So even if we continue to go down, we still have good support. But as for now, we're good inside a good standing here with the Bitcoin price. So just get prepared for that. Now, if you want to look at it in a wider, more broad perspective, you got to look at the 1 week chart. And the 1 week chart is pretty important because you can see it's showing that high activity was expected in this area. We were always expected to have high activity in this area. And now you're starting to see it is a little bit of high buying activity. But notice how this wave down here is kind of starting to form downwards, kind of like how these two oversold waves did. And you can see it with a lot of selling. So if we go down from here, it's going to be a lot of selling. And the problem with this selling is that everyone's, you know, expecting everything to become bullish right now. But I really believe this is like a bullish fake out, if you want to call it that, or, you know, it's just a false bullish, you know, a false bull run, a false bull run. And that's pretty much what I'm looking at here with Bitcoin. So I really do believe this is a false bull run, but we'll let it play out. We'll let people have their fun and continue to be happy with the little bit of gains that we have now. But we're still inside of a recession. So the fact that we're still in a recession, I still believe this is a false bull run. But we'll just let people have their fun, let them do little day trades here and there. Some people are buying for the long term, saying it's about to go back up to 60K, which in the long term it should go back up to 60K and beyond. But as in the short term, I still predict a 10K Bitcoin on the horizon. Don't know when it's going to come, but I'm still predicting a 10K Bitcoin. If you look at the 1 week chart, that's what the 1 week chart is telling us. And that's the last time that we were actually down there. So our last, major resistance before entering the bull run was at 10K. The second we get past 10K, we just started to go crazy. And that was back in 2020, the ending part of 2020. So now it's the ending part of 2022. And like I said, 10K. It looks like we're slowly but surely inching back down to that same support. Our resistance then becomes our support. If you scroll back here, our resistance here is now becoming our support here. So it's a whole cycle here. And you see, this is a 2-year cycle. It took 2 years for this to happen. So now we're going back down to this resistance, or to this support. So you definitely want to prepare for that now. But anyways, like I said, Baby Doge is still doing fairly well. I'm going to keep you all updated with that. Let's talk about some other stuff, though. So as you can see here, our holders now at 1,633,905 holders. That is a good amount of holders right there, almost at 1,634,000. Eventually, we'll get the 1.7 million, just like how we are on our live Twitter. The Twitter is now at 1.7 million followers. So that's pretty good to have 1.7 million followers. Also, we are also the most visited project on CoinMarketCap in the last 24 hours. So we're above Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Rich Quack. We're above all those different projects there. So all that is good stuff. And also, if you want to look at DeFi Llama, Baby Doge swap is now at 161 inside of the ranking. So we're now at 161 in the ranking for DeFi Llama. That's $32.37 million in total value locked. If you look at ShibaSwap, all the way down at 184, we are way above ShibaSwap now, and we're going to continue to rise here in Baby Doge. So all that is good news as well. And also my journey here with Baby Doge Swap now has me at $7.01. Now $7.02 because it just went up. And this is inside of a time span of like 2 weeks. That's pretty good. 2 weeks to 2.5 weeks, somewhere around there. But yeah, $7.02. That's a lot compared to what I could have if I had more money in there for 2 weeks. Like if I had, let's say, because I only put $89, if I put $890 in there, and it's going to continue to rise, I'd have $70 instead, $8,900. Then I'd have $700 every 2 weeks, and that's pretty good money if you're just putting in that money and then watching it grow, passively. So this is a good passive income. Big shout out to Baby Doge, and big shout out to the Baby Doge Army, Baby Doge Swap, all that good stuff. We are doing very good with Baby Doge Swap. But yeah, this is pretty much all I got for you all today. Definitely hit that like button and subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Leave a comment in the comment section. Also, if you want to check out my other channel, Marsellis Travels, link inside of the description. Definitely go ahead and pre-save my new album. Comes out on January 1st. Link in the description. And as always, I'll be back with another video.